last time we met our kindred, it was 4 years ago. Karsh had just come to power, and the new Promised Mandarinate was defeated. Its stragglers sent to escape to far-off places. Now, in the years since then, a lot has happened. The Second Inquisition activity in the city increased, and the vampires were forced to go to ground. This was ordered by Karsh in something called the Isolation Protocol. Since then, there have been no real Elysia, and kindred interaction, kindred society has been at the minimum it's been in the city. Now, this surprisingly kind of fell together with the real-life COVID pandemic, but now we find ourselves just a couple of days before New Year 2022, and you've all received good news. The quarantine, the isolation protocol is about to be lifted. The Second Inquisition presence in the city has reduced. The raids have almost completely stopped. And while there are still some hunters, it's been deemed safe enough to once again start to have the Elysia. The first one of which is supposed to be held in a week on New Year's Eve. Right now, we're just right around Christmas, maybe just a little bit after, like around that time. And you've all been taught to bring a gift to Elysium to sort of celebrate the rebirth of the camarilla in San Francisco. This can be a present for everyone, or a person for the currently ruling prince, which at the moment is still Karsh. He calls himself Prince Pro Tempore, so the temporary prince. But yeah, nobody really knows when or how he will relinquish that power. So that's what you guys are supposed to be doing. Every camarilla kindred in the city is supposed to attend. A little head count can be taken, and so the current state of affairs can be assessed. But before we start with that, since it's been 4 years since we lost our kindred, I would like to know a little bit about what happened to you guys since then.
I like to imagine it like an 80s sitcom credits of just us hanging out and being best buds.
Just sitting on couches.
Just do a montage of the little antique shop comes up. Yeah, I see as you go past on that one.
I love it. We all hang out at the antique shop. Yeah, it's great.
No, I can't imagine you guys did too much of staying at my creepy little shop on that front.
Probably not.
I'm very much I'm sure of that on that one.
Maybe a short recap of last week. So James Ramírez, your character, you woke up from like years.
A long period
torture.
Of time, yes, absolutely. It wasn't fun.
And you, together with a La Sombra upstart, were assigned to a slightly older kindred in order to make sure that you two were on the up and up.
Agreed.
Yes, absolutely. Probably been thanking that things have been quiet and we haven't had to go to parties and any of that sort of thing for the last 4 years, but now is like starting to get a bit like, oh God, I've got to actually be around others now. And he's probably getting a little bit. He doesn't like change. He doesn't like his routine being played with. So he's probably not overly amused that things are coming on that front. But
well, I think the first year or so, like Elysia were still going on, but they were infrequent. Karsh is not really a party person, so it was not exactly at the top of his priority list. But there were some. There's like a kindred club where people kind of hang out from time to time.
Sounds terrible.
I think Clarissa would love it.
I can quite agree that the other two may have a thing, but yeah, Ramírez would definitely be one of those ones of, He's just trying
having to
not
drag you there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he is 100% been just trying to keep his nose clean out of and not get on Karsh's shit list for the last few years, and now he's got to go and bloody be in front of them all again. It's like so yeah, he's been sweating the last few days or weeks. This has been getting closer and closer, and he's just been rattling around his little shop trying to figure out what he was going to be doing on that one.
So what has he been doing over the last 4 years? Just like give us an idea, not only for me, but also apparently for the viewers that we might have on YouTube.
On that one, well, I mean, he would have got his little shop in order as much as he can. He would have moved anything that needed security and safety to the whatever our new habitat has become, and because he figured out that. Oh, hang on a minute. Cole actually had some good ideas of what to procure and actually have something that might have a bit of security behind it instead of letting him getting trapped in a box in the back of his own shop. So he would have accepted that pretty reasonably. He would have been trying to find out anything about his collection, his art collection over time, what happened to pieces, that kind of thing. That would have always been on the back burner there. He would just be trying to not prod too many people at the moment, basically to try and not have the others get any trouble out of him at the moment, because he's purely, he's been out of step and been trying to figure out what his place is and just relearning what life is in the last 4 years of, getting up to speed of after 20 years of being out of the way. So I think he would have caught up relatively well, although hated most things that were new or different for a while until he got to accept them.
I love the idea of Ramírez learning about technology and then being like, oh, we don't have to, they don't want us to, perfect, great, they don't want us to use it.
Yeah. You mean I can keep the classic car? Oh, perfect. On that front, yeah. And then,
I can't use it and Ramírez doesn't want to use it.
He's not too worried, been too worried on that front. But yeah, he's certainly been he's definitely been interested in finding out what is going on in the city and just trying to work out what his place is in amongst all of this, which is so far been to try and just keep out of the pecking order, and these two seem to be his best chance at keeping that going and maybe helping figure out things for him at a later time, if that makes sense. So he's more than happy to sort of help with their things for now, if it helps advance them, to help him in the long run is the way he thinks. He's a patient guy on that front, so he's been fairly on that one. He would have also looked up what family he had left, if there were any, and realised what was going on there. So yes, they certainly would have tried to find out about that, and hating every moment of figuring out any of that stuff that may or may not come up. But I think that's the basics of it. Hopefully his shop looks a bit better and a little bit more of a clientele again, and all the rest of it that he would have lost with time or would have been trying to get back.
Well, it's still a little stuffy old store.
Perfect.
But there's a little less of just straight up garbage in there.
Yeah, there's actual antiques again. Yeah, that might be the best way of putting it. Yeah, that makes him happy then, if he started to do that. The only thing, obviously, is the big alcoves of missing things in the back room would be the harder thing to get past.
So regarding your collection specifically, it's been very hard to track them down. There is
buggers.
No real public record about people trading them around, about them appearing up for auction, which, because these are valuable art pieces by a well-known artist who also happens to be your ancestor.
But also very true in the art sort of world. If people want to buy pieces discreetly, it is something that can be done, and then they're locked into vaults and never seen again. So he is kind of aware that some of these possibilities, but it still irks him.
There have been rumors about a rich San Francisco investor in Silicon Valley and stuff that apparently has one in his private collection, but it's difficult to confirm whether or not, one, it's real, two, if it's true, if it's true at all, and three, if it came from your collection, or if it was one of the pieces that were floating around in the world.
Yeah, because I like to think of it like some of his more mainstreamy bits are the ones that are the more famous pieces, and then these are the more disturbing pieces in this guy's collection or in his creations over time.
So you're not quite sure if that's the real one. What you also were looking at was the person that put you in the coffin.
Yeah, and information on that would have been a thing as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. And like in the first year, I'd say you would have found out who she was, and that she is now apparently part of the Camarilla, and that she controls a fairly large part of land, fairly large domain within the city.
Yeah, that was about 6 months of depression that these two had to deal with. When he found that one out, he was very taken aback when he realised that.
So, I can't wait to see what you will come up with to sabotage her.
100%, definitely at some point. But yeah, he feels like he has no power, and they have all the cards, and maybe these two may get some cards that might help. Is what he's been hoping and trying to help them with over time. So,
okay,
yeah, that's the way we played it.
Is there anything else you wanted to add to that, or will we move on to
the family stuff? He would have definitely checked in on, because that would have been important. He would have obviously figured out that that there was one ancestor alive and all of that side of things, and has been sending Arnold out to check on them on a regular basis just to figure out what they're up to. Is definitely was definitely been on the list, and
we can deal with some of that. That's no problem. If it doesn't come up here, then we can do that in between sessions.
That's okay. That's not a problem. But yeah, it would definitely be something that these two would be aware of, that there is one member of his family still living, and she's on the more chaotic side from what from what Ramírez claims, whatever that means on that front. But yes, there's certainly some of that. But yeah, I think he's been fairly low key and just helping these two out as much as he can to try and bolster some sort of a position in when there was no pieces on the board, if that makes sense.
Very well. Then I think we will move on. Cole, I think it was, right? Cole.
Oh gosh, what has Cole been up to? So in terms of the timeline,
yes,
we first met 4 years ago.
Yeah, that incident from us. Yeah, where you got us two dropped on you was exactly 4 years.
Yeah, so I'm guessing we would have met probably a couple of months before the Tremere Chantry was destroyed.
After. Because when you met was when Karsh came to power, when basically the new Promisement Aeronate was basically gone, and Karsh crowned himself Prince temporary prince, if that makes sense. Before that, he was just like the warlord, and Prince Winder was still in charge, but then she went into torpor because she got... Yeah, it's complicated, but it would be after the destruction of the Chantry.
Okay, but not long after, I imagine, because that was 2018 as well.
Yeah, maybe a month or two.
Well, that was a busy time.
Yeah, and that was pretty devastating. So that's probably what drove Cole to find somewhere as secure as we have now. So that was probably happened quite early.
Okay, yeah.
He would have definitely helped out with Ramírez finding his collection and finding out who actually put him in the box. It's a mystery, and Cole loves a good mystery. So he definitely has like a dossier on, people of interest, and has slowly been helping Ramírez narrow it down to the current controller of Chinatown.
Yes, definitely on the list. I can imagine Cole would have been the one to find that stuff. That would make sense.
And I guess like the first couple of years, you've been just keeping an eye on you two and kind of like pointing you in the right direction, helping you with contacts, and
yeah, all mine were out of date.
Yeah, trying to help ingratiate you into the Camarilla as much as possible, but also trying to like gauge, okay, these guys are not Sabat infiltrators.
What deception checks do I need to roll, Seb, to... No.
That would be manipulation plus subterfuge.
I'll save the roll.
It's fine, I can just stake you in your sleep.
That's true. It wouldn't be hard.
A solutions guy.
Oh gosh, what else?
Been trying to move up the Camarilla, or trying to Anyone you've been, or has it just been too hard with everything else going on?
I mean, he was the Hound in the previous regime. Like he was a part of the Camarilla, so I guess he's just trying to stick to that as much as possible. Even though he doesn't have the actual title anymore, he's still very much set in that mindset.
The good little soldier, like
the
Karsh term that we heard.
Yeah. So yeah, still definitely working with the Camarilla, trying to deal with anarchs that may crop up on our territory, and the same with the Quasian.
If it's something that interests you, you could have every now and then have received like a lead from some of Karsh's people to go check certain things out, to
definitely
go deal with some anarchs that might be planning like an incursion into San Francisco, but usually it didn't really turn out that well, or if there were, they were usually like individuals that were completely like uncoordinated with the greater movement, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, he's the good little soldier, so that is what he had been doing. He'd still try to be, as much ingratiated in the Camarilla as before, even though it's very different these days.
Okay. Maybe you can also tell us a little bit about you guys' new haven.
Did we come to a verdict on if that one bomb shelter underneath the Grace Cathedral would be holy land? Or holy ground, sorry?
I think the cathedral itself would be, but I think the bunker itself is deep enough underground that it wouldn't necessarily bother you, if that makes sense.
The perfect hiding place.
Yeah, that would be okay. So shall we say that we are in that bunker?
I like it.
Yeah, it's very secure. There's no sunlight. One entrance in and out. Although we can have secret other ones. We would definitely have had it renovated. Yeah, I imagine it looks like...
Any changes I hated.
Yeah, I imagine it looks like a loft apartment, just without windows.
Yeah, it's perfect as it is. Why would we change anything?
Yes, it was exactly what it needed to be. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But he would have understood with time and things like that.
Like,
although I assume he might have a little
for?
space somewhere in there that he puts has put his valuables and bits that might not look so Spartan or so clean or so right angled.
Yeah, I imagine we all have our little spaces.
Yeah, he would definitely have a nook in there somewhere that
it's like a central living space and like a kitchen area, but it's very much deep underground. It's very secure. It's very hidden away. Yeah,
Ramírez would have liked all of that, weren't they? Like knowing that
one entrance, one exit, just
it's. Having the Chantry destroyed was a big turning point for Cole. Like he's very much like, things need to be secure. We can't have this happening again.
So you are basically in a renovated bomb shelter underneath like one of the what was the name? Was it Grace Cathedral or something?
Grace Cathedral, very much in the center of San Francisco. It's kind of almost, I think it's slightly further away to the antique shop than our other areas, but not by much. But the only entrance is actually underneath the cathedral in their underground car park. So it's very much out of the way. Okay.
Actually, not that far from Chinatown.
Yeah, it's very central.
Her territory is close by, yes. Yeah. Go snooping. Yeah. It's probably been snooping going on over time.
Okay, but this for everybody, this is a final haven. So this, for all I care, this can have anything you want. This is like a pretty swanky place. So yeah, that's
many hours on Pinterest trying to find the perfect image.
One day he will find the perfect image.
I will find it. I will.
I like to imagine that Cole is on Pinterest trying to find the perfect like home decor, but every time like Clarissa comes near him, it just goes to hell, and Ramírez is like just berating him constantly for using.
Well, I mean,
Technology
every new
is
piece of
old.
furniture that comes in, there's comments for days of why it's wrong, and then he eventually accepts it. But it takes him time to move past it, and then it just becomes part of the furniture.
If you find an image you like, you can always send it to me, and that will become the way it looks. For now, what you see now is kind of a placeholder that I generated through Midjourney.
It does the trick for now, absolutely.
But just so you have something to look at.
One day we're going to have to go and see if there's a labyrinth on the other side of the damn thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Grace Cathedral is famous for its labyrinth, so
That is pretty good.
We'll go hunting for those and see if were other ways in around and out of this place at some point. Go exploring.
Maybe one of our emergency exits actually leads into the labyrinth, and we know the way out. But
yeah, I could see that. See that.
Just in case, Cole is very safety conscious now. He witnessed his entire clan burn around him.
That's fair. No. That's fair. And I got locked into a box for 20 years. So yes, there are advantages to this.
I imagine Cole would be trying to rebuild, I guess, his chantry, like set up, or at least get the groundwork for a chantry to be set up again, as there is now space for a regent. Not something he wants. He is not, definitely not. So that competent as a Tremere to be the regent, but he would want to, still have a Tremere presence in the city.
So apart from you, there is one other Tremere in the city that also survived the burning of the chantry, a kindred by the name of Anton LeVay, also, and he's a little bit of an asshole to
Church of Satan, yes.
Yeah. He's a smart asshole. He's also the founder of the Church of Satan.
Wonderful characters come from your clan, yes.
So, yeah, that's the thing. And we will, I'm sure, deal with this as this story goes on. As we will find a place to re-establish where the chantry is. Okay, so I guess that leaves us with Clarissa.
So she would have basically been doing all the schmoozing and going to all the fancy events, going to all the Elysium, going to everything she possibly could, and trying to schmooze the right people, get in with the right people, get in with the right mortals as well. So on the press side, she would want kind of good control over what gets reported in the city. Once she would be upset and annoyed at first that Cole kind of had to babysit her, because she's like, I have never done anything wrong in my life ever. But she would have eventually accepted it once she realized that Cole was not a threat to her own political ambition. And I think hopefully they would have become friends. And also, obviously, Ramírez, probably not really a threat to the political.
Not from a political side of things.
And he has a classic car, so that's it.
That's definitely true, yeah. He would have let you work on that.
I don't know. But yeah, eventually would have warmed to both of them, and I imagine they'd come quite close, because she wouldn't, I don't suppose, have many friends over in San Francisco. She hasn't been there for that long, and a lot of it is recovering from the trauma of London and knowing what happened to the people that she did care about there. Yeah, so basically just trying to work her way into any boons she can acquire, any little political progress she can make, whether that is within the Camarilla or gaining contacts on the outside that may help her in future.
As like someone with some control over the press, I imagine you might have made some headway in that regard. I'm imagining in this time you might also have met your current assistant.
Lily, yes, my angel. She does everything for me because I can't touch tech. So she will do. She'll be the best PA there has ever been, I think. Probably.
Is she aware of your whereabouts?
I don't know if Lily would be aware of the Haven, but she would. I think she would see Clarissa most days. So she'd have a good knowledge of where she would normally be, but I don't think she'd know where the Haven is.
Is she Gould?
Yes,
I was
do
thinking
control
about
her,
this.
yeah.
I'm not sure. Probably. I feel like I'm trying to make Clarissa nicer than she is, but I don't think she is that nice. If she can still be like my anchor and be Gould, then yes, she would be.
Yeah, she can be. I'm gonna say she
Yeah.
can be. I don't immediately know the rule, but I'm gonna say she can be ruled by you. That's not a problem. It's a terrible thing to do to a person, but it's possible.
Clarissa's not a good person.
You would know that the Haven, the group Haven, is warded against ghouls and living creatures. So if she was to ever enter the abode, she would get electrocuted very quickly.
Yeah, I think that Clarissa just wouldn't have told her. Like, she knows how protective Cole is of it and how safe and secret he wants to keep it. And I think that she would see the benefit in that.
Okay. And I'm sure we will explore some of this. How about the other important person in your life?
Reginald, the dad. He would be still being like looked after. She'll go and see him as often as she can, at least once a week, but try and keep it very quiet. Try and keep it as secret as she can. I don't know if he recognizes her. She might, in a really cruel way, play on his dementia, and because he'll notice that she isn't aging at this point, and she'll be like, "Oh, Dad, you're being silly. You don't know what you're saying."
Okay.
We've all seen What We Do in the Shadows, and her poor old neighbor.
Exactly.
All right. So I guess that leaves us to.
Oh no.
Let's call this. Yeah, why the hell not? Let's call this like the day after Christmas. The Elysium happens at New Year's Eve.
Clarissa is absolutely insisting on calling it Boxing Day, even though she's pretty sure Cole and Ramírez have no idea what that means.
As everybody wakes up, I'm guessing in the Haven, if you wanted to be somewhere else. That works.
Did we all have Christmas together?
Oh, guys.
Bah humbug.
How did your Christmas party look like? I guess that's the thing we can think about. Vampire Christmas.
Vampire Christmas time.
But I'm guessing you guys awake, and I want a rouse check from everybody. I will roll for you.
So it should be at 1 hunger. Okay, no problem. And a rouse check. Oh my god, the first roll I actually made. That works. Okay.
Okay. So
I actually can have success.
You become hungrier, you will be at hunger 2. Clarissa and Ramírez, you succeeded, so you will be at hunger 1.
Yay, thanks, Seb.
No worries. And how do we start this? Okay, maybe you guys know you're supposed to deliver a gift to Elysium in like a little under a week's time. What are your plans? What are your goals in this regard?
Cole, have you got a moment?
Of course.
I'm feeling a bit awkward about this whole party thing that we've got coming up. I know it's going to be a thing again, and I know we've got. Have you got ideas now already for a present? Is it for Karsh directly, or do we have to bring someone for the whole group? I'm always confused at these things.
It can be either.
Oh, you're still holding things over me from the last time.
Yes, this is the part of kindred politics that I do not enjoy. It's always a minefield. You're always going to offend someone. If you get something for Karsh, the rest of the Elysium is going to be offended. If you get something for everyone, then Karsh will be offended.
I can't afford to do that, Cole. I've got to try and at least not appear on Karsh's shit list any further than I already am. Oh, well, it's been a while, I guess, but we've not had to do these things for a long while. But have you had any ideas at all? I've got a couple of ideas on things from his homeland, but I haven't tracked anything down yet. It's an idea, but I just wondered if you had any thoughts already.
Only ridiculous ones.
Ooh,
I
good ridiculous? Good ridiculous or not?
No, definitely not.
Oh, damn.
I I thought about acquiring a lupine pelt, but that would not go down well for
his eyes go a bit
anyone.
wide at that one. It's like, I can barely say boo to a goose on that. And there must be better options than that one. But anyway, I was thinking of going down the route of something from his original homeland. You know, I have a thing about obviously antiques, but also ties that bind to the people's homes and things like that. I thought maybe that might not go down too bad if I was to go somewhere down that route, if I can try and figure something out that might even semi be of interest to him. I was thinking maybe I saw something that looked like some sort of ceremonial dagger the other day or a link to one as a possibility. This internet thing is quite marvelous in some ways.
I think that would be a mighty fine idea, actually. He is a warrior, after all.
Yes, I remember that as he holds his neck for a moment as he's thinking about that. It's like, yes, I do recall some things about that night being blade related. I thought it might not be too bad a thing to be going down. But anyway, that's what I'm thinking along the lines. But I just didn't know if you and maybe Clarissa had any ideas already. I've been fretting on this since we got the letters.
I think your idea is a fantastic one. If you can acquire that, then I think a lot of people at Elysium will be jealous. All eyes will be on you.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that, but I will definitely start that ball rolling and see what I can do with Arnold. We'll see what we can do. But if there is anything I can help you two with as well, obviously let me know what you're thinking or what you're up to. I mean, I think at this point, what happens to any of us reflects on all of us at this point. I think, unfortunately for you, Cole, this is the hand you've been dealt.
Well, I'm not particularly worried. I was thinking perhaps making some blood wine. It's a bit of a delicacy among the Tremere. It's not an easy thing to make.
No, I have heard of it, but no, I haven't actually making something like that. That's a very interesting. I mean, I'm sure that would go down well if it was doable.
Well, certainly, it's one of the few things that can get us kindred intoxicated. So might lower some guard.
Not a bad thing at a party. It's worth investigating. Have you seen Clarissa around at all?
No, I think she may have
to leave maybe early this morning.
Elsewhere.
Very well. We shall see how things will go. But I will probably have to go over and check out the shop as well. You know what I'm like. My routines. I have to keep. I have to do some checks in the evenings. I'll see how Arnold's doing. But I have my phone. So if there is anything else, we can always rendezvous and catch back up a little later on.
Well, give my regards to Arnold. I hope he had a nice Christmas as well.
Yes, I think he was doing okay. But yes, we'll check in on him. So yeah, I think, Seb, it sounds like we'll be doing a little bit of Ramírez has his routines that he has that we've kind of established in some ways, which is basically things like he checks on his collection here and does a few little bits there, and then it's always a check on the shop if he can do it. Is kind of the routine he does. These are his normal parts of his thing. If nothing else comes up, if that makes sense. So it's they're the key ones he has to do each time, unless his floor to kick in, if that makes sense.
As you go to the shop, you meet with Arnold, and he basically gives you some sort of progress report about how the day went, what the sales figures were. But he'll also let you know that the girl came around again, boss. The blonde-haired girl.
Again?
Yes. She didn't come in this time, but I've seen her looking in from across the streets.
Well, keep an eye on, and we'll see if anything more happens with that on that front.
This would be the person who survived your brutal attack on her in the prologue. I think Sophia Masters.
Yes.
Or Mac Masters.
The mayor's daughter.
Yes, that girl.
I mean, her mind must be fairly fuddled of what went on, Arnold, but she's obviously putting some of it together. I may have to tell Cole and Clarissa at some point that she's been hanging around more. She hasn't been disturbing you too much, though, Arnold, or done anything more lately?
Last week she came in and looked around confusedly. She asked for the owner, actually, but I worked her outside real quick. She doesn't seem to remember much, but
as is kind of usually the way. But
something seems to be drawing her back here. I'm not sure how she found this shop or how. I thought we were very careful, and I'm pretty sure.
Memories are a funny thing, Arnold. There may be more links going on in there than she recalls. I don't want to provoke anything, and especially as I know who the mayor has on the other side of things it's complicated, Arnold. Let's put it that way. But yeah, try not to antagonize that situation if you can. But yeah, I think you're doing well enough.
I never antagonize.
I know.
I do my best to keep to keep the peace.
You do very well, Arnold.
Is there anything else you require of me?
We need to try and push up the any sort of procurements we can on that item that we had been talking about the other day. I may have to go to an event fairly shortly, and I'm going to need that item then if we can. So I don't know if you have whether that contact that you were talking about might have a good lead, or whether or not there is anything else we can chase up. But between us, we need to work on that one, Arnold, if we can.
The dagger, it costs a fair amount.
I know. Yes.
I know of the auction house that is about to sell it. However, I am not sure if it will fall in our means to buy it, so to speak.
I know. We may have to have a look into it a little more. Maybe even finding out who might be the most likely buyer might be the other side of that coin as well, Arnold. If you could, over the next couple of days, have a look into those possibilities of when the auction's coming and who's been sniffing around the item might be handy if you can. You know the drill.
Just for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna say auction is tomorrow. Not long after sundown, and I'm gonna say he knows who the seller is, and it's basically like part of an estate sale. Like someone died and their possessions get auctioned off, but it's pretty high end because it was a rich guy. So yeah, it's held by a pretty prestigious and pretty well secured place. However, you can try to make your way in with your own means. Or if you can manage to get enough money together, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, the two things he would be looking for is there a way of getting enough money together? The other option would be, can he talk down the most likely person that is going to be bidding the price up? Would be his other way of trying to play it, if that makes sense. So he'd be looking to find out who that contact might be, for who might be the most likely likely bidder, to see if he can maybe quell that person by means, if need be, to try and to keep the bidding lower on the item to make it work.
Most likely bidder. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be. We don't have to have the answer right now, if that makes sense. But if you think along those lines, as something he would be trying to work out in these situations, if you want to pull it to another thing. But yes, those are kind of the things he would be trying to do to work that one out.
Okay. So then we will, I guess, skip to Cole.
Would Ramírez have... I mean, you would know that Cole is particularly sneaky and good at getting into places that he shouldn't really be in.
He doesn't keep things from you, Cole. Yeah, the only thing that, these are the things he's been thinking about, and I'm sure he has at least been speaking to you about. Obviously, that he's going to be looking for this dagger. He might have even come back a few hours later and been telling you of what what that situation's actually about, if that makes sense story progression wise. That he would make his way back to the Haven. That's not a problem. Because he would have, his routine. The early part of his night is usually, go and do the shop stuff, and then he comes back and then sort of usually deals with other things or helps out where he can, if that makes sense. So he would have definitely filled you in at some point if the evening is progressing like that. That's not a problem on that front. Yeah, so it definitely would have been. Yeah, there's going to be one major client X that we've discovered that's going to be probably bidding the price up out of my range, which will be annoying. It's being kept in a fairly secure location, but I didn't know what you would think of it all, Cole. But if you have any thoughts. This is what I know, as he sort of lays out where the thing's being stored, and I'm assuming who the main contact that they've been told that's doing the selling, etc. If that's okay with you, Seb, he passes that sort of info across as on that front.
The buyer is basically a representative of like a museum that like specializes in like ancient artifacts and like historical things, but they're backed by some pretty serious money, if that makes sense.
Yes, fair enough. Old money or new money? Would he know it in those terms?
A little bit of both, I think.
Okay, so, not an obvious one in that front.
Yeah.
But yes, Cole, I mean, it's. I think it's a good item, and I think it's the right thing, but it might become too expensive in the long run, in the short term, sorry. The auction's tomorrow night, so I don't know. If there's something, you can maybe help on that side, and I help with anything that you need for procurement for whatever you're thinking of. I'm more than happy to quid pro quo on this.
Do you have any idea who, in particular, the buyer might be?
We have some pretty good inklings on who it might be. So we figure out one person that's the most likely bidder, Seb, or is that possible?
Well, you know who he represents. The person itself, kind of more difficult. Like who will be representing the museum, that's a little bit more difficult to find out.
Yeah.
You can try to look into it, but it might take some of your time.
Absolutely. We'll try and get a name if that's maybe a name or a face. If that helps, Goal, if that moves things forward. I will definitely try.
I was going to suggest just making sure they don't turn up to the auction.
I certainly would lower the bidding. Yeah, that is definitely one way. Or maybe I should. Maybe going to talk to them might not be another way of doing it. Maybe. No. Well, we'll see. Yeah. Well, I'll dig into it and see what that person's about. Yes, that's definitely on my agenda.
You might want to take Clarissa with you on that one. She's very good at the unwilling participation.
That's true. That is true. She definitely has skills on that one. Hopefully, she's back from wherever she's been doing her PR thing.
She had a little bit of a lie-in this evening.
Had a business meeting. Business doesn't stop for Boxing Day.
Fair. Is it really Boxing Day already? Yes,
your
really
So, Clarissa, you wake up. Apparently, you've had your Christmas party somewhere else since you didn't wake up with the rest of these kindreds. So, where did she wake up, and how? Yeah, what does her morning look like? What's her idea for the gifts that she's supposed to procure in a little bit less than a week?
That is a very, very good question you've asked there, Seb. I think that first and foremost, on Christmas night, Clarissa would go and visit her dad for a little bit before coming back to the Haven. In terms of the gifts, I am so sorry to have missed the conversation. What was everyone thinking in terms of gifts? Just a very quick recap, because
that's okay.
I had a business meeting.
Ramírez is trying to track down some sort of a ceremonial dagger from the Ottoman Empire, trying to get something from Karsh's homeland originally, as the kind of the item on that one. However, there's a bidding war going on for that item in particular, and then
Cole is planning to procure some booze. Specifically kindred blood wine, as it's one of the few things that can get other kindred drunk.
Sounds perfect. I was thinking of some legendary, historical armor. Doesn't have to be from his homeland, just something that would, that he may have heard of, that would be quite famous, that you'd normally see in a museum.
Okay.
It would be nice and complimentary to Ramírez.
I was going to say, might be possibly something from that same auction. Might not be a bad possibility.
How many people do I need to hypnotize?
Well, I need help with the person that's might be bidding up the price on the dagger that I'm trying to get. It's definitely on the thing, but yes, we certainly, if that possibly in the same things.
So it's not in the same lot.
No,
but seeing as you specifically mentioned the museum, and the buyer is representing a museum, there might be something there. But I'll leave that up to you to decide how you will figure that out.
2 birds, 1 stone. Excellent.
Lovely.
Specifically known armor is a little bit more difficult, although there would be a museum or something you could try to get into. Museums are pretty heavily surveilled, but it's not an impossibility.
Well, that's quite convenient. Good luck, cameras, picking me up.
I mean, not only talking camera, but also
yeah, of course. I will put work into this. I will have done back work for a while. With the second we found out we were going to have bought a gift.
How much notice would we have been given?
A little over a week.
Oh God. So stressful.
Oh yes.
Okay, I'm going through all my journalist contacts that would write pieces on museums, anyone that they know, historians and things like that. I have got a little bit of academics, and my specialization is in history. I'll use all the tools at my disposal.
I mean, if items from a museum are coming to an auction house, I mean, that's certainly outside of their normal security, isn't it? It's into a different.
It's the other way around. It's items from an estate sale that are.
That they're wanting to procure, right? Got you. So we're going up against the museum on that one. Okay.
For you, James.
Stop it ending up in the damn museum collecting dust. I want it to be collecting dust not in the right places. Yes. Okay.
Ramírez hates museums. That should be it.
unless it's my own stuff. Yes, that's definitely true.
So we can do it. If you wait a little bit and you wait for the museum to procure it, you might be able to a little light breaking and entering there and try to steal some priceless artifacts.
I think I would probably try. Oh, would I? How much? Who has more money?
How far do your persuasive powers go, Clarissa?
Yeah, if I'm going to end up in a bidding war with this guy, would you be able to make him not want to be doing this bidding war?
Or you let him win and then convince him to hand the stuff over to us.
Oh, that's great.
He looks at you even more wide-eyed. Is that plausible?
Manipulation is my highest thing, I will say. But I should be able to tell you more very shortly.
Would knowing a lot about history, Seb, and bits and bobs like that, looking through the other lots that are coming up in that same sale, would there be anything that would be even plausibly in the realms of being of interest for what Clarissa is actually looking for? As in, something that might not is going under the radar at the moment, but is actually something that might be a piece a bit more fitting to what she's actually looking for in an item as well. Seeing as there's clearly one thing in there.
This is a long shot. If it's going to be a fairly high
fair enough.
Threshold, but
understand.
You can roll me intelligence plus academics, and since you have history, you can add your specialty.
Is Clarissa helping in this role?
I would hope so.
to give you an extra die.
That would be nice. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm gonna say this is possible. If you go over this together, it's definitely a thing.
Got that right.
Oh my God.
Am I doing okay on that? 7 successes, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty spectacular.
Where were these rolls the other week?
I'm gonna say with this, like you find something that looks at first sight it looks like a piece of garbage. Like it's not armor necessarily, but it's like basically a shield.
And maybe it's an item that's gone under the radar for how decent it probably actually is. Weirdly enough, it's like been completely like mislabeled because it's being sold as like a large like sort of bowl. Weirdly enough, well, it's in fact like a shield for some reason. I'm sorry, but this is the best I can come up with. No, that makes it. Look, Clarissa, this one here might fit the bill for what you're thinking of as well. The dagger is in the auction, obviously, but this one here, that they've got this wrong. This is not what they think it is. This is an armor piece. This is a shield. This is something fairly significant.
Yes, okay, that sounds wonderful. As long as it is something special, it can't just be...
No, that will be far more significant than what they think that it is. I mean, I know a lot about this. I don't have many areas of expertise, but this is my one. I can guarantee you that would be a very particularly... with a little bit of work, very, very good. That would definitely be passable, I would have thought.
Trust you on this. This is not my area of expertise, but Karsh has little interest in those areas, so I have to trust you on this one.
I may not be of much use for other things, but this one, I think, yes. So there's 2 items in this auction now that will be of use. Yes, obviously, if Clarissa, you could use your skills to help try and keep the bidding down, we might be able to procure both of them whilst we're there at the auction. If not, we may have to deal with other more unsavory things that might have, Cole's expertise might be more useful if we had to.
Well, but, hopefully we'll be able to use mine and keep it under the radar.
Yeah. He's thinking about blood wine, and I really, I'm just not sure how I can help him on that one.
No, I'm not sure I have anything to add to that.
Their magics have always been their own thing, always a bit of an outlier.
Yeah, nothing I can really help with there, but the support I'm sure will not go unnoticed.
Well, yeah, the auction's tomorrow night, so we can obviously see what we can deal with there. Maybe we can convince Cole to come along, and we'll see how we can do on that one. And we'll see if there's anything we need to help with his procurement options as well. I never was one for drink, even when I was alive.
So while the La Sombra and the Tsemis are plotting their little heist,
or bidding on it, we'll see.
I quite like heist.
Yeah, we go back to Cole. Cole, do you have a way to make blood wine?
So obviously used to be part of the Chantry.
Yes.
So knows of this ritual. Doesn't personally know how to make it, but does he have any record of this particular ritual? Is it in the one book that he was told to acquire as the Chantry was burning?
I will say the book that you have, which is like the core book, will have some of the more like important rituals in it, and what exactly it does we will go over later. And while you're going through the book, I will say that I'm just to make this easy, I'm gonna say that you do find it in there.
Okay, I was going to say if it wasn't in there, then Wine Country would be my next stop.
Yeah,
I know that the Harpies have a vineyard, don't they?
Yes, they do. Well, the Versailles, but yeah. The former Parisian Harpies. Yeah, no, you find it in there. That's not a problem. The thing is, to learn it yourself is challenging and might take some time. Now that you have the book, it's not really a problem. But as you're like going through the book, behind your shoulder, like you hear a little voice saying, You're never gonna learn it. You're not good enough.
I recognize this voice.
Oh, definitely.
There's a bit of a sigh and a rolling of the eyes.
You
I
were
will-
never very talented at blood magic.
And yet I survived. Don't make me ward this place against wraiths. That's strike one, Erasmus.
Oh, I can't. So I almost can't wait to see like what he will do to you. And I'll be there watching.
Wonderful. Always a pleasure. And then I will continue attempting to do this rather ridiculous ritual.
Okay, so let's quickly look up what this ritual is. Let me quickly get to the bride.
Is this...
You're doing this before the auction, then you can come and find something nice if it all goes wrong.
Do you do this in secret? Does Cole do this in secret, or is this something he would?
No. I imagine we have like a kitchen area. We have like a modern kitchen in this.
Yeah, I hate it. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. And it's like he hasn't used the kitchen in almost 100 years. There's just stuff everywhere, and there's just blood. it's a mess.
I see the annals of cooking haven't changed that much in 100 years. He looks around at the mess that's around you.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea what I'm doing.
I wouldn't know what to do if this was, normal cooking. So,
did you at least find the recipe?
Okay, so I will put it in the chat. This come through.
Oh, you did find the recipe.
So in order to create this blood wine, you would need kindred vitae.
Wonderful. I have 3 of us.
look what good friends you have.
Yeah. Oh, we're giving up blood, aren't we? Oh, okay.
It's fine. It's only a few liters each.
I know.
Come on, crack open a vein or two. You'll be fine.
Yeah, these old veins don't have much in them.
Well,
very well.
For us, we have Chinatown on our doorstep.
Yes. Anything that helps the cause, Cole. Very well. Yes, I will help out. What else do we need? What other things have we got in here? Honey, salt, easy. How silvered powder or gold? For gold over silver personally, but I don't know anyone else's tastes. I'm sure we have enough of bits around for something like that.
Yeah, you know that Cole has a collection of all kinds of eclectic, weird and wonderful shit that has no place anywhere else.
I'm gonna say that you have your you have what it takes to do this ritual. The only part that's hard to come by is the actual kindred blood.
We're willing.
I guess the question is, how much of it will you give?
Yeah, how much does that equal to?
4 points. So if I give 2 and everyone else gives 1, that's 4.
But you're already at 2, aren't you?
I will be very hungry, but that's fine. I don't mind feeding afterwards.
As Bex, I would love to give you more, but as Clarissa...
Yeah, once. I'm fine with the 1.
Yeah.
Just the 1.
It's fine. This is just a test run.
Well, okay. And Ramírez will step up. I'm assuming there's some sort of a cup around that can be used for the
Cole is there with like a kitchen apron, like a knife just ready. Yeah.
Very well, Cole. Get on with it. I'm not cutting myself.
What you do know is after you have collected this, you will need to perform the actual ritual, which will require a rouse check. Just so you know, before you...
Oh, okay, I can't.
Okay.
I need 2 from someone else.
Okay.
Or I will frenzy.
I'll give 2.
Like, Cole would kind of know the limits of his...
Yeah, we don't need that.
Thing. So yeah, I'm just clarifying this so you don't.
I'll give 2, but I want some credit for this.
It's fine. I'll put all of our names on the bottle. Okay. I've upped my hunger to 3.
And mine will go up to 2. Cool.
No, I think yours will go up to 3 as well.
Mine will go up to 3 as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to go and eat something.
And I'll be on to okay. So yes, bit of cutting, a bit of bit of bleeding into a bowl. So far okay. Well, this is where history knowledge is not going to help you, Cole. This is going to be down to what you can do. I've heard of the magics of your clan, but I have not seen them in action. So, chop, get to it. Whatever you got to do. Wave the hands, do the whoop. Nope.
If only it was that simple.
But yeah, he's intently watching. Like this is interesting.
Yeah, Karsh is on the edge of his feet.
I need an hour of zero distraction, otherwise this will be for nothing.
That's fine.
Then he will proceed to...
Is there any aid we can give to this ritual, Seb?
Do
Is there
anything to help?
Yeah, is there anything you can...
You already have. You've donated Vitae.
Yeah, that's basically all you can do in this.
Fair enough.
Pretty good, yeah.
So you start your ritual. I'm gonna say this, like, weirdly enough, this underground bunker has like a way to properly ventilate, so you can like make an open fire.
No expense spared.
It's still a bomb shelter. It needs air.
True.
Okay, so you start casting your ritual, and I am going to need your ritual roll, which is intelligence plus blood sorcery, to see if this will work.
Okay, is this going to roll?
I'm going to say, because you don't know this ritual and you're casting it from like your book and you haven't actually like studied it, like it's gonna be a little bit more difficult for you. But because you have the tome, you're able to do it at all.
Oh,
You can re-roll. You can re-roll.
I can only re-roll one of those.
Oh.
Do it.
You can. If you spend a willpower, you can re-roll.
I'll spend a willpower. I need to... willpower.
Come on.
Black dice roll.
Oh my god.
Oh. Okay, 3. I hit the 3.
So if we follow the description of the spell, you start like chanting the psalms that are written out in your tome, and you're getting through it. But then, like right before it ends, like in your ear, you hear, "You think this is going to be enough? You let us all burn. We all died. And you know what? I think you have something." But you push through, you use your willpower to push through, and the liquid cooks down to something that looks like wine, but maybe like a little bit more viscous and a little bit darker than normal red wine. But for the most part, looks like what you might expect wine to look like.
Cole, did you actually do it?
Work?
I think so. This is the test run. So, shall we try it?
Success, maybe.
If we try it, we have to make it again, right? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Clarissa, by all means, step up, try. I'm intrigued,
I will.
but you.
I will pour a little tiny bit into a glass, and I will try some.
So it creates. So that was a liter. When consumed, equal to 1 point. Okay, so we can regain the hunger points that we put into it, essentially.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, equal to 1 hunger point per quart, and we used 4.
Yeah, you guys can do this if you want, but you will need to make your stamina plus composure roll to see if you get drunk or not.
So we're all drinking. Okay, fair enough. Regain what we took. Okay, I've got to see how drunk he's going to get on this one. Stamina plus composure, was it?
Yes, stamina plus composure.
Difficulty 2.
These are both attributes, but you can normally roll it from either of them.
What's the difficulty, sorry?
2.
Thank you. I think I've done this right. I could have done it wrong.
Yay.
Cool.
So I think one of you is taking 2 drinks, right? Or not?
Who's the most hungry?
Me and you, both of us.
Yeah, I need the one.
Both the 3.
Yeah, you take it. It was your wine, and I will.
Okay, I'll take.
While performing your ritual, you also had to make a rouse check additionally. Sorry,
Okay.
I forgot to add that.
Oh, I got even hungrier.
Okay, well, you should probably take that then.
Okay, I'll take 2, and you guys take 1 each.
Mm-hmm.
There, none of you got drunk, but
This tastes pretty good.
But for many of you, like, this gave you some idea of what it was to be alive again, and to drink like a good wine on, like, in an evening. You know, sit around like a table with friends, laugh, enjoy the taste of the alcohol on your lips. Something that has long since gone for all of you.
That is a good gift.
Definitely. I had completely forgotten. That is quite wonderful. Well, with practice, Cole, I'm guessing that you may get better at that, but as a first batch, that's not bad going.
If we really commit, maybe we can make a couple of bottles through the week.
I was going to say, maybe we make a couple of bottles each night. We just feed and bring something for everyone.
Works for me. There are some really hard workers at the company that are working over Christmas, so always have someone to feed from.
Yeah, there's people in the shop as well. I can definitely feed. Promise not too messily. Although that does remind me, I do have something to say on that, Cole. That woman, you remember the incident with the daughter of the mayor? She's been hanging around the shop a little more often recently again. Maybe something of her memories coming back. I forgot to say that in all amongst of what's been going on, but she's been poking around, which is probably not a good sign. Again, apologies for that one. But yeah, I don't know what it means at this point. She hasn't done anything but sniff around the shop, as far as I'm aware.
Is she fairly embedded? I know that she was one of ours, or sort of becoming.
The mayor is Karsh's ghoul, as far as I understand it, and then she is prominent underneath him. But as to if she is going to be part of our society or anything more, I have not been told. But I'm not sure it's a good sign that she's sniffing around. But yeah, I don't know if it means anything more yet. But I thought I'd at least let you know, seeing as you two were both involved in that incident.
We should be able to steer her away between us, I would hope.
Yes, or whether someone's putting her up to it, that's the only other thing. But we'll see.
Perhaps that's something of a talking point in Elysium. Figure out who is interested in her and maybe nudge them in a direction that...
Maybe, yes. It might be worth... Yes, it's a very good point. And maybe with this wine we're managing to procure as well, we might loosen some tongues in the right way. So, yes, if that's all right, Clarissa, maybe with your contacts and the way you do things, keeping an ear to the ground of who and why they may be interested in her more might be of interest. And, yes, whether Karsh is at play more or less in this situation, we don't know yet. And we obviously know there are others that, at least despise me, if not despise you guys through me, within the camarilla group as well. That could be part of this, but who knows? But maybe the party's not a bad thing to find some of this out. I'm going to hate every moment of it.
Quite possible, but trust me, these things are useful.
I don't deny that. I've learned that much from you both. Well, okay, procuring more, we can work on our wine production. That makes sense. We have that in. And then obviously, I don't know if you're okay with it, Cole, but maybe joining us at this auction tomorrow would be handy to see what you think. See if we can maybe let the items get bought up at a reasonable price and then go after them, or whether or not dealing with the buyer straight away might not be a good idea.
Well, it depends. I mean, I would prefer if we procured them through the usual means, but if we are bid, then perhaps other means will be required.
Yes, I mean, I think the item I've spotted for Clarissa will be in some ways slightly easier because people aren't maybe not realizing quite what it is and how good an item it is. So it may be that one's easier, but we'll cross that bridge when we're there.
Is there a function before the auction?
Like a preview. That's a very good point, Seb. Yeah, is there a preview of the auction items up?
So this is like the estate auction of like a pretty wealthy, but unfortunately, ultimately, very single gentleman. Before it, there will be like some kind of because this was like quite a wealthy man, and like the items itself are quite valuable, like there will be some kind of reception beforehand. Luckily for you, it's scheduled after sundown, so in the evening. But yeah,
when all civilized things are, absolutely.
There is like a fancy reception planned beforehand. It's like basically like a black tie event, like very swanky, very like high society.
Perfect.
A black, yes, wonderful. That sounds terrible. But a black tie event. Okay, fair enough. More party.
Sorry, Ramírez.
I know, but I can dig out my one suit and my second tie. I'm sure it'll pass or something.
Perhaps during the preview event, you talk down the items that you're interested in.
Absolutely.
Make them seem less appealing to those who are interested in it.
It's a very good idea. I like that.
They are of dubious origin. That might be something to play. Fair.
Well,
they're worth jack shit, and they're not even worth bidding on.
Again, should be fairly easy with the shield. But we can try it with the dagger as well. Definitely. Exactly.
Absolutely. We'll keep calling it a bowl. That definitely makes sense. We'll see what we can do. But yes, that's our plan for tomorrow. But yes, do we need anything else?
I think that sounds like a good plan.
Ramírez, you come here first. We meet before, so I can dust off your suit and make sure you look believable.
Make me look passable. Very well. Yes. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know, Clarissa. I think he already looks like a very wise and eclectic older gentleman.
I work on it. It's kind of my thing. Yes, fair.
Very true. We also need him to be believable to a group of people for whom looks are incredibly important.
Maybe looking like I'm living. And yeah, there is one thing, obviously, that whenever you look at Ramírez, he's never one for not looking like he's a little bit off to anyone that looks at him. There is it's definitely still something even built into his makeup that makes him people think slightly odd of him when they see him. I
think that was already when he was alive, right? Still have that look about it.
Probably, yeah. Getting off the boat and landing in New York, it was probably true.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, we can do that. We'll take the one. Clarissa, would you? Yeah, if we take the car, or I think.
Oh, yes, please.
We can do it that way when the time comes.
I think in the last 4 years, Clarissa has made sure that car is like nice again.
Yeah, again, I hate that, but yes.
You're insured as the primary driver.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, it'll just be easier this way.
It's very valid, very valid.
So to make this go a little bit quicker, we'll jump to the next night, to like the start of the auction. I'm gonna say everything you want in place. Like you can kind of prepare the night before as you guys like roll up to this swanky event. Maybe because this is the next day, roll me another rouse check, every one of you. See how your hunger
Is our
goes.
hunger? Would we have been able to feed in the meantime?
Oh God, I really hope so.
Well, if you want to hunt, you can. To make this go quickly, you can roll me the hunting roll that's associated with your predator type. It should be.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't have needed to because that's my first one. I've been so I'm at 2 hunger now. So
yeah,
nice.
He usually waits till he's a little more hungry.
Mine is wits plus streetwise.
How does Cole feed, Drew? What's his type?
So you would know that he works essentially as like a bounty hunter for a bail bonds place in one of the very high crime areas of San Francisco. So he'll go there, find out who's on their wanted list. He will hunt them down. He will feed from them and then hand them over. So he feeds and makes money doing it.
Yeah, 2 birds,
Nice.
1 stone.
Yeah. No. Okay,
So-
success. That's fine.
Mine is manipulation plus etiquette. Oh no.
Oh.
Oh, we have not done very well.
okay. Clarissa.
You can reroll.
Oh, you know what? Yes.
If you want, you can use willpower to reroll, but then you need to spend your willpower. No.
Oh no. You could do 2. You could
you can
re-roll
roll one more. Yeah.
Okay. Just do the one, and I'm sure that's done.
Oh no!
Jesus! Oh gosh!
Yeah, it's difficult for you, Clarissa, because like you come back to your company and everyone's like supposed to be working tonight because it's like Boxing Day. Like they've like all in some sort of like mutual rebellion. They've actually like gone home.
Oh my god! There's going to be retribution for them actually taking the time off that they are allotted. I swear.
And
How dare they?
Since this is a bestial failure, let me take a look at what your clan compulsion is.
Sure, it's probably really good and absolutely fine.
Uh-huh.
I think you have to roll for a compulsion.
Yeah, I'm just gonna roll for it because why the hell not? Paranoia, that's fun.
Huh.
Oh no!
No.
So I'm going to say until like the next day, and so until like it's still in effect now, this will be your compulsion.
Okay.
And ignore the vampire roughly spent an hour in the safe spot for the in case of this thing, like it runs over into the scene we're about to have.
This is going to be excellent, guys. It's definitely not going to affect anything at all.
Not at all. Not at all.
The one person good at talking is now superpowered.
You're looking a little paler than normal.
I'm fine.
Maybe like why are they not at their desk? Like they were supposed to be here. This must be a plot against me to like
They're getting out of me from the company. Oh no,
Yeah.
That's all my power. That's all my political standing within the camarilla. This is it. This is the end.
Okay, so you guys make your way to the auction house. You've arrived fairly early. The reception's still ongoing. People are gathering. Some of the items have been set up to display. There's like a catalog in there that like carefully lists all the lots that are supposed to go up for auction tonight, and everyone's like kind of mingling. Yeah, and I'm guessing you guys drive up in one of Clarissa's cars, since she actually has like quite a few of them.
She has the best collection, absolutely.
As we're mingling, can I use heightened senses to try and pick out individuals who have shown an interest in the items that we want?
Yeah, so sure. So let's heightened senses. Is there like there's not a role involved with that, right? It just happens?
It's a freebie, so I can add my auspex to any perception-based rolls.
Yeah, okay. Roll me wits awareness plus auspex. Well, wits awareness and then your number of auspex dots as a bonus. Yeah.
I'm gonna re-roll 3. Why not? 1, 2, 3.
Oh,
Okay.
Look at you.
8 successes.
Rolling high.
Damn. You've identified. Let's go with like the bowl first, because that's the trickiest one. Like most people like seem to be thinking like this. Like, okay, first some history. Like this is actually like a very like important piece of antiquity that like got lost years and years and years ago. Nobody really know where it came from, but it has been like ascribed to have been the property of people like Alexander the Great, and like really, really old. It doesn't look like much, but it's actually like very, very valuable. Then at some point in the last couple hundred years, it was lost. But you like, especially Ramírez, you have like seen sketches of it, and you kind of know what it looks like.
Yeah, enough to give it an inkling that it's way above what it what they think it is. Yeah,
and the way like you see it here, like it's basically like covered in soot, and like it's horrible because like people like attached like these little like feet to it.
Yes,
to use it as like
to make it the bowl shape.
Make it as like kind of like how do you say this? Like a bowl. You like. Do you know like these fire pit bowls?
Yeah, like a flattened out cauldron.
Yeah. So people basically made that out of this like priceless, valuable artifact.
This is quite interesting, Cole. I think they probably did something like that to try and do rituals and things like that. But interestingly, there might be links in there that way. But fascinating how they've repurposed it in an odd way. But I'm pretty sure it's way better than that.
Yes, an ingenious way of ruining history.
Well, humans have been good at that for a long time.
Like you'd think it might be possible to restore it in time if you were like a skilled enough craftsman.
But still a hell of an artifact.
And then the other part, you see actually like several people like kind of sitting like around the dagger. I think you said it was supposed to be, James.
Yes, like an ornamental Ottoman dagger was what I was going for. Yes.
So it's like it's beautiful. It's like a curved blade, inside like a scabbard, which has like which has like jewels around. It would
have been for like a sultan or something. In the past.
The gold inlay is incredibly intricate. It's very, very like detailed, and it's wonderful. According to you, but and like a lot of people are standing around it, like looking interested, like kind of like mouths agape, looking at it. And Cole, you are able to identify at least like 3 people that like might be interested in bidding on this item, and because you had 8, you're kind of aware of like their budgets or what kind of way they like how high they will be willing to go based on their like based on the conversations they have with each other, I guess, or based on like the phone calls that they have to like confirm their budgets, and you're aware like this might go from anywhere between 200k and 600k.
So I'll relay that information to Clarissa and Ramírez, and I will pinpoint exactly who in the crowd is looking to bid on what. These are the people you need to talk down or dissuade from buying these items. Convince them that they're fakes or they're not worth what is advertised.
I have an idea. We can talk down for the shield. I can possibly, I assume, afford the shield. The dagger,
you could, but it would require you to temporarily take some damage to the resources that you have at hand.
That makes sense. We can still talk it down, so let's talk it down. With the dagger, I think if there were 3 people, we talk down to 2 of them and we talk up to 1. And I will try and convince that person to give it to us as a gift afterwards.
I like this plan. Just as a beforehand, I would have used the Blush of Life before we walked into this room.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, in that case, everyone roll me a Refs check.
I imagine Ramírez wouldn't, and then Clarissa would nudge him.
I was going to say he just wouldn't think of it on that one, but yeah, fair enough. He will rouse and see how he does.
Yeah, I'm very bad at remembering this, so it's very, very possible that you might need to remind me of this later.
Sorry, okay. I just remembered we all look like corpses. It's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Seb. So one of the things I would like to be able to do is is there anyone that's sort of doing the descriptions of the items and going over the history of the items? I would like to try and talk it up at the right, asking questions that might, what would be the best way of putting it, overshadow the authenticity of the item, or maybe throw some of that in doubt with his knowledge of history and things like that, throwing things in there that might but weren't certain things like that lost at certain points in, things that would slowly make it sound like it might not have as good a, because an item being good is one thing in antiques. The other part of it is that you have to be able to prove its history throughout all of its prior places it's been, so you know its pedigree going through. That's half the battle. Maybe trying to prove its
authenticity.
Trying to throw some dirt on that side of things as a you know what I mean, just something to, well, where in the information does it show where it was during these periods? Surely
so
this
could have been like.
Too bad that alloy wasn't used for another few centuries.
Yeah, or the idea of, but those museums weren't even taking in those sort of items in that period. I mean, surely that's suspicious. You know, things like, you know, things that make it look like things that would normally be overlooked in a history of an item, but maybe he's just he's playing up his knowledge to try and help his situation.
So you sort of walk up to the organizers of the
just asking some very key little pushing questions within earshot of people that are looking at this item. Yes, yeah.
I like this idea. Roll me manipulation plus academics, and you can use your history.
Okay, manipulation plus academics. Okie dokie. So I have to pick academics first, don't I?
Yes, and then manipulation, and then add the one from your.
Okay, here we go, guys. I'm going to see how my spiel goes. 1 sec.
I believe in you.
Oof. I'm going to re-roll, I think. See how we can do.
Spend some willpower.
Yeah.
Willpower re-roll, and then I can select all 3. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for 5.
Damn.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you're able to you're able to sow some doubt in the mind of these people.
Yes, clearly when it was changing hands to the prior owner, I mean, that gallery wasn't even dealing with those sort of things at that period of time. Surely that's a little dubious in its history. I know that there are some bits of pedigree here, but surely that's got to be, that sort of thing. He's throwing up all these things that would be esoteric in any other situation as he's asking these trying questions.
And you see, the guy you're talking with, leaves you alone for a moment, goes in the back to talk to, some of the other people. Call through your, heightened senses, you actually, hear him say, God damn it, Brody, you did not do your job. This was, how many times do I have to say it? You need to do your research properly. People pay a lot of money for these things. You now, God damn it! Now we could be in trouble. Maybe should we take these items off the list so we can actually do proper investigations on them and sell them at a later point, or just should we sell them at the lower end of the scale? This is
Ramírez is fine. Yeah, he's just wandering around dum-dum-dum. Let them think on it. Let them dwell on it. I think that may have been helpful, Clarissa.
Well done. That was excellent. They didn't know what to do with themselves.
I know. Well, I am. Like I said, I have some expertises, and these I have to have some uses. It might not be power climbing, but this is one of them.
Right, I guess it's my turn to help out then. And I'll see if anyone is still interested in specifically the dagger, I think, after that.
Yeah, so in the end, I think they will decide to, during the actual presentation of the auction, they will actually say, okay, it has come to our attention that the authenticity of this dagger might have been overstated in our previous research, and you basically see at least 2 of them just completely lose interest in this possibly replica, and then the last one still kind of seems to be interested. And you think this might be the guy from the museum who maybe has done his own research on this. Maybe knows like a little bit more than the rest of the guys.
I will, as he is looking at the dagger, I will wander over, and I've got like a glass of wine that I am obviously not drinking, and I will kind of like look and consider the dagger. I'll be like, such a beautiful piece, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Too bad that that apparently the paperwork is not in order, is it not?
I mean, how much paperwork can you really have for something so ancient? It's a beautiful piece. Are you looking to acquire it?
Well, yes. In a way, I think it might be fortuitous for me that this, the auctioneers, how shall we say, their sloppiness has interfered with the sale. This means I will be able to buy it for much less than what I believe it is worth.
Oh, absolutely. That's definitely worked in your favor. It would be a wonderful piece. Is it for your own personal collection, or? Oh,
no. This will go to the museum. We have quite, like, the historical collection. And I believe
then I'm sure you've done your own research. And it would be a wonderful piece for a museum.
Of course, I agree. What's your name, by the way?
Clarissa.
Very well.
And yours?
Clarissa. My name is Matthew. My name's Matthew. Matthew Smiths. There you go.
Every name you have ever heard in your life has just left your head.
Yeah, it happens to us all.
Well, it's lovely to meet you, Matthew Smith. I'm glad that this has worked in your favour. It would be wonderful for you to have it. And if you win it, I think it would be a really lovely gift for me. And I will try and do submerged directive, was it? Yes, submerged directive, which is mesmerize submerged directive.
Yeah. So this requires you to make a mesmerize roll, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what's the exact command you give through mesmerize?
I will say, if you win, give it to me as a gift.
Okay. Since this guy is mortal, I don't believe he gets to resist this, right?
Damn.
I'm also gonna. I don't know if it helps at all, but I have got the merit beautiful, which would mean I add a dice to all appropriate social dice pools.
Yeah, this is a discipline roll. This is not a social die roll. But yeah, because this is a mortal, this just happens. No roll required except for a rouse check, because you actually need to call on your blood to force your will upon this person, if that makes sense. But he does not get to resist it.
Come on. Can still re-roll it.
Oh, success is good.
Yeah, and for a moment, his stare goes blank, as if confused, and then a moment later he kind of shakes himself awake, and he says, I'm so sorry, I kind of zoned out there. What were we talking about?
Oh, Matthew, no, not to worry at all. You're probably just overwhelmed with all of the amazing things at this auction. We were just talking about the dagger and how it'd be such a good piece for you to win.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry, it must be the champagne. It must be a little bit too much. But I'll just put this away for now and focus on the auction later.
Good idea. And I will walk away. Back over to Cole and Ramírez and be like, okay, hopefully the dagger should be ours.
Excellent. And if no one's caught on to the other item, the bowl, we'll bid for that ourselves. We can figure that out.
Keep talking it down.
I think while you guys have been hovering near the dagger, Cole has just grabbed a glass of champagne and is kind of looking at the shield bowl and is just gives a nod to whoever's looking at it. Ancient barbecue. And then just sips. No further context.
Roll me manipulation subterfuge, because this is just fun.
Not his strong point, but
I believe in you. Come on.
Convincing barbecue
Oh
time.
no, this is all going to be hunger dice. Subterfuge, manipulation. I've been rolling like shit, and I can't re-roll that.
No, fair.
Like, you see, like, a couple of chuckles, and then, like, in some people, like, you actually, like, see, like, lights flicker up in their eyes, saying, like, hey, wait, we can actually use this as a barbecue. This actually might be, like, kind of interesting to buy.
I think, Ramírez and Clarissa can wander over, and Clarissa could be, I would ask Ramírez within earshot, right near the bowl, and be like, so you're saying that this time period isn't accounted for, this time period isn't accounted for, and they have no way of explaining that, and just kind of double down on what Ramírez has already done.
On that one. Clearly, it's made of from many a different thing, but yeah, no, I don't think we're trying to play the bowl down anyway, but it's already not high on the list, so I'm kind of not. He's not as into trying to change things.
I think for this one, I don't think it would matter as much, since it's more of a novelty piece than or it's more like presented as a novelty piece rather than. But
it'll go well in the apartment
than an actual historical artifact. Okay. So we will move on to the auction itself. Where I will say with like your the work that you have done, the guy from the museum manages Matthew Smith.
Not that Matthew Smith, a different Matthew Smith.
I'm just quickly writing down Matthew Smith so I don't forget.
This is great because now you can just go through all the Doctor Who's.
The next one definitely gonna be David's.
David Tennant. Yes.
Now that's all I can imagine in my head. This guy looking like.
Smith, we're wrong.
So that goes to him. The bowl, there are some people that are bidding on it, but like it doesn't like go much higher than like $1,000. So yeah, I'm just guessing that Clarissa snatches that up. There might be some like costs involved as well in like the restoration of this like artifact, but like for now. It's
okay. My good friend Matthew Smith knows people. So.
I also probably have some contacts that might be able to help with an antique of some description and on that front. So yes, there's possibilities.
Yeah, and after the auction, when you go to like pick up your thing, once like the wire or the money has gone through, like you actually like get to like pick up your ancient barbecue, and you also see Matthew Smith taking the dagger and like walking outside, and like he's almost like looking for someone outside, like as if he feels compelled to look for someone.
I will like trot up after him. Like, oh, Matthew, hello! You won the dagger. That's wonderful. And I'll just like put my hands out.
Oh, Miss Clarissa, I am here. I just feel like I need like to give this to you. Just we had such a wonderful evening. It's like this is the least I can do. Here, take this.
Matthew, thank you so much. This means the world to me. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I will literally just turn and walk away. Bye, Matthew. Bye forever.
A couple of days later, in the local paper, local museum curator fired for misappropriation of funds.
Wonderful. I love it.
Oh, Matthew, I'm so sorry.
How many of the doctors can we get fired? We'll work on that.
Clarissa's not sorry. Alex is sorry.
But you have your dagger and your ancient fire pits bowl thing.
Clarissa, well, it worked You've got a real knack for these things. Are you sure you want to stay in media? You seem to have antiques seem to be a thing with you as well. Well done.
Yeah, we could work together on that again. That was actually quite a lot of fun. I mean, if it wasn't quite so stressful knowing what it was for.
Indeed. But at least we have them, and we'll see if we can get them evened out a little bit. And but I'm sure that will be very presentable as a thing. If only finding my own art collection was so easy. But one day. But yes, this is
great.
A very
this
good
way
start.
we can move on from worrying about what we were going to get as a gift, and now we can all worry about how the gift will be received. Lovely.
Yes.
Much more soothing.
Yeah, and hopefully it will help you and Cole move on up as you've been aiming for. So these are good things. These are good things.
So get that attention.
Yes, that's definitely your field, not mine.
So now you have scored 2 of your gifts. I'm guessing you take it to your ghoul, James.
Yeah, Arnold is probably the best person to work on any of that sort of thing. Is definitely true.
Yeah,
he would at least know the right people to.
Yeah, he's getting it in like a presentable state, so it can be given freely to during the party. In the meantime, over the next couple of days, what are you guys doing?
Feeding and winemaking, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's say
we become wine machines.
I'm gonna say you have 3 days. You have the 28th, the 29th, and the 30th left, because I've been keeping track. So you can make some wine if you wish to.
I will try and make at least a bottle a night.
Okay. In that case, I need to know where the blood comes from.
It has to be kindred blood, so it's going to be coming from the 3 of us.
Yay.
And then we're feeding each night to try and even us out. Yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, 28, I need a rouse check. We're just gotta make a couple of rolls to see how we manage our hunger here. Just to see if anything happens.
Is it everyone or just me?
Everybody.
Oh, okay.
The rouse checks for waking up on the 28th and getting to work.
So I'm at 3 hunger at this point.
Would someone be able to roll me a rouse check? Sorry, I'm just grabbing my charger for my laptop.
Yeah, I will
Thank
do
you.
this. No worries. You are also pretty high because you did not get to feed and you failed, so you're at 4 hunger, Clarissa.
Ooh.
Okay, so feed beforehand, then make wine.
Yes, yes, wine.
Okay, in that case, I want you all to make your hunting rolls again, specific to your predator type.
Where do I find it on my
succeeded.
sheet? Sorry, the business owner one for...
Yeah, I don't think it's on your thing. I think it's in the predator types. Let me quickly look it up.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I added mine into the notes.
Oh, great. In the other section. Okay, yeah.
Yours would be charisma plus persuasion. Charisma plus persuasion.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say we're still handling the base of 1. One success is enough.
Okay.
For now.
I won't be feeding because I'm okay for now.
Possible bestial favor.
Yeah, but 3 is enough.
Nice.
So yeah, you get to reduce your hunger back to 1 for now.
Yay.
Excellent.
Then
until we make more wine.
Then I'm guessing we're heading to the winemaking stage.
Mm-hmm.
So who's giving wine and how much?
I can
giving blood,
to...
giving vitae.
I'll give 2 this time as well.
So I only need 4 per batch.
Oh, okay. So I can give 1.
So if you give 2 and we give 1 each this time, and then if we need to, we can switch it up.
No problem.
Cool.
Okay, so I did the hunger. Rouse check for the ritual.
Rouse check for the ritual, and your
Get hungrier.
and your intelligence plus blood sorcery roll to see if the ritual actually succeeds.
This is dangerous. 3 successes.
Yeah, 3 was the goal.
Hey.
So yeah, you've made one batch of blood wine.
But it's a liter, right? And if you're going to get it in a wine bottle, I don't know, maybe it's different in America though. Who knows?
Bottle and a bit.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you make 3, then you've actually made 4 in Britain, but I don't know if it's different in America.
Surely it'd be the same.
Surely.
Yeah, you can probably get like a nice decanter as well to just make it seem like more impressive if you want.
Getting
That's easy enough to pick up, I'm sure.
Yeah. Do you want to make any more or not?
Yeah, I think I would try and do 1 per evening. Did you want to roll per evening or just keep it?
Yeah, just to like make this a little bit faster. Let's just say that it worked, and that you guys don't really have any like big snafus.
We've been rolling pretty
along
good
the
on
way.
that one.
Yeah,
good. Alex are doing all the big snafus for us.
Let's just like
They're breaking Masquerade. We're making wine.
Yes. We're going to auction
and
making
antique
wine.
sales, yes, absolutely. It's so much more civilized.
Absolutely. Dignified.
And then I will say the day the 31st arrives. New Year's Eve is tonight. Tonight is the first time in God knows how long that there is an actual Elysium. And yeah, it's supposed to be quite a spectacular party.
Ramírez, as I believe this is your first proper Elysium,
Yes.
a couple of unspoken rules, taboos to be avoided. Don't turn up hungry.
Okay, fair enough. I can.
And
certainly will be.
don't hunt in the area of Elysium. The last thing we need is drawing attention to a whole room full of kindred.
I know I had some messy points, Cole, but yes, I can do it. Fair enough.
That applies to everyone, not just you. Don't worry.
Come on, I'm on edge enough. I'm not going to do anything silly around that bunch. You know that, or at least.
I have no doubt. Just making sure.
Well, we have the wine. We have this god-awful suit I'm having to wear.
Clarissa is brushing spiderwebs off the suit as we go.
Man. This group.
Play nice. Leave any transgressions at the door.
Clarissa is clearly eased into being with these guys because she is actually showing that she's excited. The second they get there, she will go stony-faced.
So I'm guessing Cole will also run them through like the rules of Elysium, like no discipline powers used, no weapons.
Yeah.
I'm carrying a dual dagger
Masquerade is still in force.
Yes, yeah.
Where is it this evening?
This evening is might not be like is actually at the same building that you first met each other. It is City Hall in like the big ass room that I showed you last week.
Because the wedding reception area.
Yeah, I just thought that would be cool, so I just said, let's do it there. It might not be the smartest idea, but it's nice. So yeah, I'm guessing you guys head over there. How do you get there? Who's driving?
Clarissa drives.
I think we have a routine. Yeah, we have a routine here. Yeah.
Yeah, she's got the most insane heels on, but like she just takes them off and she gets into the car, drives barefoot.
I imagine you have driving gloves as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's in the glove compartment. That's why it's called the glove compartment. Come on. 2 different kinds, like one in tan, one in black. Yeah.
And the shield looks presentable, and the bits that made it into a bowl have been removed, and
it's all gift wrapped in Christmas wrapping paper with little unicorns. No.
Oh.
How you present your gift, I think that's up to you.
Not like that. I'm not sure Karsh is one for ribbons.
Hey, you never know.
The one that changes his whole outlook on life on ribbons.
Angry gangrel on the outside, cute, adorable puppy on the inside.
Okay.
Don't
So
tell
you
myself
guys-
he will kill me.
head over to Elysium. So you guys arrive. Well, the entrance to this place, you've been here a few times before. This is kind of Karsh's base of operations. Or at least it was up until things closed down. Now it seems to have been in use. So you move to quite a familiar side door, which is out of range of all the CCTV cameras. And after giving the necessary passwords to like a ghoul who's standing watch, you're allowed inside.
After you call? Yes.
We'll go inside, definitely.
Yeah. As you come to the wonderfully like resplendent marble room, you see many different people. Some are basically dressed like waiters, except while normally like dressed in like blacks, these are dressed in like deep burgundy reds, but like still like basically a waiter uniform. And some of them have like different colored ribbons tied around their necks and their wrists. And then in between them, you see a couple of other people that you might know, people that you have maybe met at other different Elysia before. Beside the door where you come in stands a fairly young person, and he says, "Now entering the floor, Cole of Clan Tremere, Clarissa King of Clan La Sombra, and Ramírez Banecroft of Clan Zemitzi." And you see like some people turning their head at you as one of the people that are basically dressed as a waiter comes up to you. "Is there anything I can offer you? Can I take your coats? Can I get you refreshments?"
Clarissa will hand them a coat and take refreshment for sure.
The odd dusty jacket that Clarissa has made him take off. He will do that.
Yeah, so he grabs your jackets and calls a few of his like brethren over that are also dressed as waiters in burgundy red, and they will offer up their necks and their wrists to you to partake as you will.
Seems rude not to.
I'm fine. I ate beforehand.
Very well. Behind you, some other people are slowly making their way into the room. As the person that also announced you makes some more announcements. Now presenting Clan Toreador. Presenting Sebastian Malmont of Clan Toreador. Derek Zeal of Clan Toreador. And Lixue Chen of Clan Toreador. And James, you know this last person to be someone you know. Someone you have a little bit of a grudge against.
Okay. He knew the possibility would be that she would, that she would be there. Yeah, he stiffens up as he's looking on, trying to stay, out of the way as he can. But yeah, Cole and Clarissa would pick up that Ramírez is not dealing as well as he could. Probably even to his own surprise. As this is as she's walked in.
You see these three Toreador kind of staying together as they themselves partake of the refreshments and head off towards like a different kind of room. At the moment, you don't really spot any of like Karsh's direct like cronies, and you see that Karsh, the prince himself, is sitting on basically a throne on top of the stairs you see here in the middle of the room. People keep getting announced behind you, including a couple of Ventru, among which is Jochen van Nys, and a couple of others that you don't immediately recognize, any of you. Well, this guy you might recognize. We'll get to that later. There are people of Clan Banu Hakim that are announced, the main guy of which is not dressed at all in like the festive garments that everybody's basically wearing, but basically like he's dressed as a hobo, like rags and terrible, but like his gaze is like the way he's looking at everyone is like very like penetrating to say it with like not that nice with those words.
This is so unfair. I was made to dress up.
Yes, it makes a good impression. Shut up.
Okay.
You see a group of Malkavians led by Abram Norton, who is basically dressed in a hodgepodge of like Civil War uniforms, but both from the north and the south, but like mixed in between each other. Like to his side, he's wearing like a ceremonial saber, and for some reason, like you ask, like why was he let in? Because like you're not usually allowed to bear arms, to wear weapons inside an Elysium, but for some reason he's allowed to.
If at any point he walks past us down the stairs as he's being announced, Cole will like take off his hat and like tip it, and we'll just say Emperor,
and he will like very politely nod his head towards you.
Clarissa will do a little nod as well when she sees Cole do it. She's like, okay, cool, we're doing that. And then she'll like again nudge Ramírez because she can feel that he is like annoyed that he's wearing a suit.
Yeah, he's just constantly having to be adjusted on that one. But yes, if you
These
remind
guys are all
him,
dressed crazy, and I had to wear a suit.
This is so unfair. There's so much injustice in this world.
You will, a couple of other ones are, of course, your fellow Tremere Anton, who has joined someone who is announced as a Bruja and basically looks like a mix between a bunker and a hippie, and someone with like a hideous deformity in like a military uniform, but like a modern day army uniform. And apart from that, you also have a group of La Sombra, who you might know, Bex. You have Andrew Emery, who basically has made his introductions to you because he was a former Sabbat bishop who turned to the Camarilla, and now seemingly is looking to gain some power here in the city.
Lots of schmoozing going on there. Yeah.
You have someone who is dressed like a nun, depending on... Her name is Edelmyra. Kind of depends on if you have interacted with her before. And someone who is dressed like very finely, but in like garbs from the Napoleonic era, but like very like dressed to the nines. Oh, Andrew Emery, by the way, is in a wheelchair, and he's basically like being pushed around by his two fellow La Sombra. And then finally, you have who you know to be the Lanza. These are like an offshoot of the Hecata, and they seem to be supporting the Camarilla within the city. And these are all sort of mingling together at this point. Is there anyone in particular you want to have a conversation with?
I will make sure I go and say hello to Andrew and the rest of the La Sombra.
Clarissa, how have you been?
Wonderful. How have you? Have you had a lovely festive season?
Well, yes and no. But that's something we can talk about later. We haven't heard much from you. I thought you had agreed to cooperate a little bit more with us. You know,
absolutely.
Put our heads together.
You know I would love to cooperate more. Just tell me when. I'll be there. Possibly not tomorrow, maybe a little bit tired, but after that, anytime.
We will see, but I am sure we will have plenty of use for each other, and that I'm sure we can cooperate to make this great.
I really do hope so.
Anyone else?
Ramírez has been doing nothing but staring daggers across the room at one particular person. He hasn't. He's just been like, he knows he has to bide his tongue in a place that he hates being in situations like this at the best of times. So yeah, he is way uncomfortable in this particular scenario. And Clarissa and Cole would be very aware that this is like happening in the. Yeah, very distracted and can't concentrate on much else as this is all going on. How that woman even exists is annoying, but the fact that she's in so thick and probably is mingling so easily with these people that he cannot is just a whole thing going on there. And he's also admiring just as Clarissa is just so easily smoozing through this space, and just seeing her skills coming out in this sort of area is like, this is their place, not mine in that respect, and he definitely feels out of place in it.
Okay,
so you talk to her. You know what they say, keep your friends close.
Look, I'll go with you. I'll go and talk to one of the others, and you can talk to her. I'll talk to Sebastian.
I thought we were trying not to have incidents, but so fair enough.
We are trying very hard not to have incidents.
This is all very trying.
We can all go together.
Have you met Sebastian before? You may know him by another name. Oscar Wilde.
I thought I recognized him. Are you serious?
Hanging around long enough, yes.
Okay, well now I'm definitely going to talk to him.
Well, I'll join you. I can't promise to be all conversation, but you did put me in a bloody box. But
come on, Ramírez. Got to make the effort. It'll make things easier in the long run.
Ugh.
And you never know. Maybe you'll learn a weakness. Wouldn't that be lovely?
Maybe. But he will follow in step with you two. As you guys move through. Does he still have the ceremonial dagger on him, Seb, right now?
I think like your gifts, you could have like dropped it somewhere, or you can still have it on you. It's up to you.
I think for the risk of it, he's still got it on him. Yeah.
Okay.
But yes, he will walk over with you guys as we're introduced, I guess, to Oscar Wilde and group.
I think that like Clarissa will try and like start a conversation with Oscar, but she'll be listening to Ramírez. And just
he will look her up and down and say, "Well, you're looking well."
Oh, Mrs. Banecroft, come crawling out of your little hovel again, have you?
I have for a little while now, yes. And my little hovel is still where it was. And these two, Cole, Clarissa. May I introduce? And he will, as politely as he can, on that front.
I think Clarissa will do the, pleasure to meet you, but like it's too enthusiastic and it's not really there in her eyes, you know?
You're not actually smiling, you're showing your teeth.
That's exactly it.
How's that little area in Chinatown working out for you at the moment? Still a shithole that it used to be? Or is it improving with the ages?
Oh, my dear Mr. Banecroft, you must have been out for so long. Like Chinatown is actually one of the most flourishing neighborhoods in San Francisco. It's incredibly popular among the tourists. Great feeding ground. Honestly, I could not have wished for better. So how's your part of the city doing? Not to sound snobbish or anything, but like last time I was there, like it just made me want to like take a bath. Like it was so filthy everywhere.
Ah, yes. Well, some people just don't have a lot of taste when it comes to things that are as they were. People want change all the time, as we've had so much of that recently, haven't we? And look at how change has benefited everyone here. A vastly different array. Hell, I'm even here. It's a very different situation than it used to be. But I have these to thank for helping things along during these trying times. And Karsh was happy enough to let me stay on around these parts, which I was pleased with.
Everything changes over time, my dear. Can I call you Ramírez?
Yeah. He doesn't respond to that on that one.
Ramírez, we all have to go with our time. It is how we are used to. But I can imagine how difficult it must be for someone like you to do so.
Yes, trying times. And he's just, again, back to that staring daggers thing. And Clarissa and Cole would be aware. He's wrestling.
So what is your current situation? Are you still being babysat by Mr. Cole, was it?
Oh, we've met from a distance.
I'll take your word for it.
And we had many mutual acquaintances, shall we say, during the war.
Oh.
Shame they're no longer around.
Well, you win some, you lose some. I'd say I come out of that net positive, won't you?
He just smiles.
Cole and Clarissa would notice that Ramírez's hand is sort of shaking and things like this with this as this is all going on. You know he's not dealing with it great here.
Oh God!
You see from the corner of your eye, like Sebastian Melmoth coming in between, and say, "Darling, you really don't need to make it. You really don't need to antagonize them as much as you do. You know, just take it easy. This is the first Elysia in ages. See, just follow my lead, Mrs. King. Was it? I don't believe we have had the pleasure yet. And
haven't.
And he makes like a very deep bow, actually kisses your hand. There. He will move over to Cole. Actually say, Cole, it's been too long, and give you like a little kiss on the cheek. We'll
accept, yes.
I assumed so.
Mr. Melmoth, when are you reopening the Vampire Club?
Well,
you have no idea how much I miss that yacht.
Well, it won't be under its old iteration, darling. I'm afraid the Second Acquisition have taken their greedy, grabby little hands on it. But I'm working something out with like an interested venture party to open up something new. But it'll take time.
Well, if you need any help with that SI trouble, just let me know.
And if you need any help with promotion, let me know.
Yes, of course. Mr. Banecroft, it's been a while.
Yeah, he sort of he sort of brings himself back round, realizing that someone else is trying to speak to him, and he's yes, it would have been.
I am sorry. I am so sorry for my pedestrian manners, but I do not seem to remember what the proper way was to greet someone of your homeland.
A more formal bow kind of thing that would be going on, I guess, that would be slightly more hand to the chest or something, so make it a little different than it would have been for something else, I guess.
Okay, so as you show it, he will mirror it. Thank you so much. I am so sorry I did not remember. It's been too long since we have seen each other. I believe it was 40, 50 years ago?
I would say probably at least, yes. You're doing well.
I cannot complain. It's been a while since one of your kind has been in this city. It's refreshing to have like a change of, to have a sense of continuity, to see some of the older folks.
Yes, it seems like time and change are all around us in every way, shape or form. But it's nice that some things do linger and survive. Some traditions are worth keeping.
As like he looks around, like you would kind of be aware of this, and Cole would definitely be aware of this. Like this might seem like a fairly low turnout, like somewhere around 20 vampires. In yesteryear, like somewhere around the 60s, 70s, like there used to be like at least 3 times as many kindred in a city. The war, both with the Second Inquisition and with the new Promisement Darenate, has taken heavy tolls.
Yeah, I think
And
Ramírez would
many-
have figured out that's half why he survived that conversation 4 years ago, is because there's the possibility that need numbers
Yeah.
on that front. But yes, it's definitely it's different, but some things stay the same, and perhaps
Well,
that's a good and a
something.
bad thing.
I'd much rather see some older faces here. So much new blood. It's exhausting, really. You don't know if they're gonna last for another 3 nights or if they're gonna be around for the next 3 centuries. It's very challenging getting to know some of them.
Change is a hard thing, but I'm told it's a necessary thing, as he looks around at Cole and Clarissa, as they've been trying to get him to deal with that.
It feels like a child and you're teaching them how to play. Like you're watching them go off and play at like their first day at school, and you're like just behind them doing thumbs up.
Mr. Melmoth, have you ever been witness to Ramírez's craft?
Ooh, I have not.
Skills with his hands. I think you'd find it a very morbid joy in his work.
I do have
Always definitely trying to
some...
big you up.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, on that one. Yeah, I do
On
have
that
some skills in that
Toreador.
process. Yes, yeah.
Toreador obsession with beauty just to try and big you up against your wonderful adversary.
Yeah, I do have some skills in that. Not many understand the flesh like our type do. It certainly has some... There is artistry in it, 100%.
Well, that does sound interesting. Perhaps we should invite you to give like a little demonstration in one of my salons that I organize.
That would be of interest, I think, yes. Yeah, he does seem like someone that... on that one, he's kind of like... And if it anyway sticks it a little bit at her in front of her, it's like, yeah, he'll take it.
And then he says, "Oh, but it seems like the show is about to begin. Perhaps we should direct our attention elsewhere. Mr. Cole, if you have a moment one of these days, come and see me. I believe I might have something extra for you."
Anytime, Mr. Melmoth, of course. Always at your service.
Very well. And at that point, like big as doors open up, and Karsh, who was sitting like atop these stairs, like looking over at everybody, actually like stands up. The throne on which he was sitting is like moved aside, and he raises his voice, saying loudly, "Kindred, welcome. Welcome to Elysium. It has been a long time coming. We have waited so long for this, to taste and to see each other again, to share in our experiences. As you know, 4 years ago, I declared myself as the prince. But tonight, I have a big declaration to make. The camarilla needs me elsewhere. Because of this, in 1 year's time, I will step down from the throne as prince. And I will give my throne to the kindred who has proved they have deserved it most. And to make this a little bit more interesting, I present to you the previous prince of this city." And you hear from like behind those like big iron doors, like a little cart being pushed up, with on top of that the unconscious body of a blonde-haired woman. The people that were around during the war might recognize her as Sarah Ann Winder, an elder and former prince of the city, lying on top of like this table on wheels, fully unconscious. For the person that proves himself worthy, I have obtained the permission to allow for a sanctioned diablerie for the one that is to become prince. Now, this is a dangerous game, and I know at least some of you are willing to play it. So all I can say now is let the games begin.